Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Tonight reciters are Hema Mataji will be reciting in Sanskrit and Sailesh Prabhuji will be reciting in English. So Hema Mataji, whenever Prabhuji will share the screen, you can please start with invocation after that. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hema Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji and Sailesh Prabhu. Nice to have you reciting today. So I've got this verse on the screen. You can comment when you're ready.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. We seek your blessings in this recitation. Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit, saved. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 1. Sutta uvacha athate samparetanam swanam udakam ichchatam dhatum shankrishnam gagayam purakritya yayush sriha
Sutta Goswami said, thereafter the Pandavas, desiring to deliver water to the dead relatives who had desired it, went to the Ganges with Draupadi. The ladies walked in front.
Text 2. Te nini yadakam sarve vilapya cha prisham punaha apluta hari padam cha rajaputa sarichale.
Having lamented over them and sufficiently offered Ganges water, they bathed in the Ganges, whose water is sanctified due to being mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord.
Text 3. Tatrashinam kurupatim dhritrashtram sahanujam gandarim putras shokartan pritham krishnam cha madhava.
There sat the king of the Kurus, Maharaj Yudhishthir, along with his younger brothers, and Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, and Draupadi, all overwhelmed with grief. Lord Krishna was also there.
Text 4. Santvayam asa munibir hata bandun sucharpitam bhuteshu kalashyagatim drishayan pratikriyam.
Citing the stringent laws of the Almighty and their reactions upon living beings, Lord Shri Krishna and the Munis began to pacify those who were shocked and affected.
Text 5. Shadayitvam jata shatruh swam rajyam kitaveritam gatayitva sato rajanaha kachasparsha kashatayushsaha.
The clever Duryodhan and his party cunningly usurped the kingdom of Yudhishthir, who had no enemy. By the grace of the Lord, the recovery was executed, and the unscrupulous kings who joined with Duryodhan were killed by him. Others also died, their duration of life having decreased for their rough handling of the heir of Queen Draupadi.
Text 6. Yajayitva swamedhastam tribhi uttama kalpake tad yasa pavanam dikshu shatamanyor ivatano.
Lord Shri Krishna caused 3 well-performed Ashwamedha Yagnas, horse sacrifices, to be conducted by Maharaj Yudhishthir, and thus caused his virtuous fame to be glorified in all directions, like that of Indra, who had performed 100 such sacrifices.
Text 7. Amantray pandu putramscha shainye yottava samyutaha dvapayani dipir viprahe pujitaye priti pujitaha.
Lord Shri Krishna then prepared for his departure. He invited the sons of Pandu, after having been worshipped by the Brahmanas, headed by Srila Vyasadeva. The Lord also reciprocated greetings.
Text 8. Gantum kritamatir brahman dwarakam ratham astitaha upalepe vida vantim uttaram bhaya vivalam.
As soon as he seated himself on the chariot to start for Dwarka, he saw Uttara hurrying towards him in fear.
Text 9. Uttara uvacha pahi pahi mahayogin deve deve jagatpate nanyam tvad abhayam pashe yatra mrityu parasparam.
Uttara said, O Lord of Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality.
Text 10. Abhidravati mam isha sharas tayasho vipuh kamam dahatu mame garbo nipatyatam.
O my Lord, you are all powerful. A fiery iron arrow is coming towards me fast. My Lord, let it burn me personally, if you so desire. But please do not let it burn and abort my embryo. Please do me this favor, my Lord.
Text 11. Sutta uvacha upadarya vachas tasya bhagavan bhaktavatsalah apandavam idam kartum droner astram abhudyata.
Sutta Goswami said, having patiently heard her words, Lord Shri Krishna, who is always very affectionate to his devotees, could at once understand that Ashwadama, the son of Dronacharya, had thrown the Brahmastra to finish the last life in the Pandava family.
Text 12. Tarhi evaha muni shrestha Pandava pancha sayakan atmano vimukam diptan alakshya strani upadat duhu.
O foremost among the great thinkers, Munis, Saunaka, seeing the glaring Brahmastra proceeding towards them, the Pandavas took up their 5 respective weapons.
Text 13. Vyasanam vikshya tattesham ananyam vishayatmanam sudarshanena swastrena swanam raksham vyadhad vibhu.
The Almighty Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, having observed that a great danger was befalling his unalloyed devotees, who were fully surrendered souls, at once took up his Sudarshan disc to protect them.
Text 14. Antastaha sarva bhutanam atma yogeshwaro hari swamaya vrinod garbham vairatya kuru tantave.
The Lord of Supreme Mysticism, Sri Krishna, resides within everyone's heart as the Paramatma. As such, just to protect the progeny of the Kuru dynasty, he covered the embryo of Uttara by his personal energy.
Text 15. Yadyapi astram brahmasiras tvam amokam chapratikriyam Vaishnavam teja ashadhyam samashayad brigudvaha.
O Saunaka, glory of Brigu's family, although the supreme Brahmastra weapon released by Aswadama was irresistible and without check or counteraction, it was neutralized and foiled then when confronted by the strength of Vishnu, Lord Krishna.
Text 16. Mamam stam hi etad ascharyam sarvascharya-maye achyute ya idam maya ya devya srijati avati hanti ajaha.
O Brahmanas, do not think this to be specially wonderful in the activities of the mysterious and infallible personality of Godhead. By his own transcendental energy, he creates, maintains, and annihilates all material things, although he himself is unborn.
Text 17. Brahma tejo vinimukter atmaja saha krishnaya prayana vimukham krishnam idam aha prithasati.
Thus, saved from the radiation of the Brahmastra, Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her 5 sons and Draupadi addressed Lord Krishna as he started for home.
Text 18. Kunti uvacha namasye purusham tvadyam ishwaram prakrite param alakshyam sarva bhutanam antarbahir avastitam.
Srimati Kunti said, "O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all."
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hema Mataji and Sailesh Prabhu. It's very nice to hear your recitation. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, we are back to Srimad Bhagavatam, reading, studying, and discussing. And we're continuing with chapter number 8 of canto number 1. And the chapter is entitled Prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit Saved. And today we'll be discussing text number 10 in a little more detail. So am I correct that we haven't started Bhagavatam until today, after we've done chapter 12? I wasn't here yesterday. I don't think there was a class yesterday.
That's right, Prabhuji. There was no class yesterday.
Okay, it's great to be back studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So today will be text number 10, which I will show up on the board. But before we recite, let's we'll chant the Mangala Charanam prayers. You can join me also behind muted mics. Om Jnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sadhujatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutan Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asticha Dishatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So this is a very dramatic scene at the moment. Lord Krishna, after the battlefield of Kurukshetra, is about to depart back to his kingdom in Dwarka. And he's just sat down on his chariot, preparing for his departure, when he sees Uttara running towards him in fear. As text 9 says, Uttara addresses Lord Krishna, O Lord of Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics, please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality. And then today's verse, Habidravati Mamisham Saras Taptayos Vibhu Kamam Dahatu Mam Natha Ma Me Gharba Nipatyatam. The word for word synonyms, Habidravati, coming towards, Mam, me, Isha, O Lord, Sharaha, the arrow, Tapta, fiery, Ayasaha, iron, Vibhu, O great one, Kamam, desire, Dahatu, let it burn, Mam, me, Nata, O protector, Ma, not, me, my, Garbha, embryo, Nipatyatam, be aborted. So, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O my Lord, you are all powerful. A fiery iron arrow is coming towards me fast. My Lord, let it burn me personally, if you so desire, but please do not let it burn and abort my embryo. Please do me this favor, my Lord. Purport. This incident took place after the death of Abhimanyu, the husband of Uttara. Abhimanyu's widow Uttara should have followed the path of her husband, but because she was pregnant and Maharaj Parikshit, a great devotee of the Lord, was lying in embryo, she was responsible for his protection. The mother of a child has a great responsibility in giving all protection to the child, and therefore Uttara was not ashamed to express this frankly before Lord Krishna. Uttara was the daughter of a great king, the wife of a great hero, and student of a great devotee. And later she was the mother of a good king also. She was fortunate in every respect. So, very interesting scene. So, this is a scene in one sense similar to a scene we've read about and studied in the previous chapter, I think it was, where Arjuna was in grave danger, about to be killed by the Brahmastra weapon of Ashvatthama. And there we saw how Arjuna had responded. And if you recall that discussion, what was very interesting about Arjuna's reaction, he didn't pray to Krishna for protection. What did he pray to Krishna for? He prayed to Krishna to please remove any fear that might exist in his heart. Why? Because when one becomes overcome by fear, it's difficult to think of Krishna. So Arjuna's main focus in that incident was not so much worried about his own body. His main concern was that he will never forget Krishna. And he prayed to Krishna to make him fearless. Now we have a very similar scene here. Uttara, he's facing grave danger. So it's very interesting to study Uttara's response and reaction. Srimad Bhagavatam is a lot about, not only about the Lord, but by the Lord's great devotees. Because Srimad Bhagavatam gives us narrations about the activities of the great devotees. And when we see how the great devotees respond to different situations, and especially the situations where they're in grave danger, we can take great example and inspiration from them. The material world is described as samsara dhavana, that is like a forest fire. It's padam padam vipadam. There is danger at every step. When we least anticipate it, danger comes our way. So it is very interesting to study from the Bhagavatam how the great devotees of the Lord respond in situations of danger. So the first vision we have of Uttara, of how she's responding, is she runs to Krishna. Well, actually, it was in the first, it's, in this verse here. First thing we see in Uttara's consciousness is that no one but Krishna can protect me. In her situation, there were many others who could potentially have protected Uttara. Her father-in-law, Arjun, was there, and his brothers, the other Pandavas, were there. There were so many great personalities she could have turned to. But Uttara's consciousness was, there is no one else who can save me. And this is an important aspect that we can learn from. When we are in danger, we can try to protect ourselves. We can depend on so many other sources for protection. But we should always remember that it is only Lord Krishna who is fully capable of protecting us. So Uttara, she is running to Lord Krishna and she's saying, protect me, protect me. And in the previous verse, it is said, she ran towards the Lord in fear. Now, this verse 10, we get more revelation about who Uttara is really looking for protection, for who she's looking for protection. Srila Prabhupada reveals in the purport, and Uttara also reveals in the verse itself, that she was not so much worried about her own protection, but she was more worried about the protection of the embryo in her womb. And Srila Prabhupada explains that this is one of the key responsibilities of a mother. One of the key responsibilities of a mother is to always give protection to the child. And therefore, Prabhupada very nicely says, Uttara was not ashamed to express this frankly before Lord Krishna, because generally a devotee feels a bit ashamed to ask any favor of the Lord. The devotee does not want to ask any favor of the Lord, because a devotee's consciousness is, my position is to render service to Krishna, is to make Krishna happy. Krishna is not there to render some service to me. Krishna is not there to render any service to me. And we see in the lives of the great devotees, whenever by some situation they found out that Krishna had offered them some service, they were mortified. They were mortified. And they were thinking to themselves, oh, I've made a great offense to take or ask some favor of Krishna. One example was Madhavendra Puri. He went to the temple of Gopinath in Ramuna. And Gopinath was very famous for being offered some very, very tasty sweet rice. So Madhavendra Puri, he was thinking to himself, how nice if I could taste that sweet rice. And then I could make similar sweet rice for my Gopal. His deity was Gopal. He found Gopal in Vrindavan. That same Gopal is today Srinathji in Natdwar. So he was thinking like this, but the moment he thought like that, immediately he became very ashamed. He's thinking, how could I even think like that? And the next day, one of the pujaris, the deity Gopinath, I told one of the pujaris, you will see outside my devotee Madhavendra Puri. Please take this sweet rice and give it to him. So he hid some sweet rice for Madhavendra Puri. Therefore, he's known as Shira Chor Gopinath. So the mood of a devotee is not to take any favor of the Lord. But here, Srila Prabhupada in the purport is justifying Uttaras asking a favor of Lord Krishna. And Prabhupada says, how is this justified? It is justified because of a mother's responsibility for the protection of a child. And in one sense, Prabhupada is making a point here. How in today's Western world, every single minute, at any point in time, there are thousands of abortions taking place. And the point Prabhupada is trying to make in a very subtle way is that a first duty of a mother, or first responsibility, is to protect the child, because the child is helpless. But in today's world, the mothers are killing the child, not protecting, but killing the child, the helpless child in the womb. And this is a great sin. Actually, in Vedic culture, there was no such thing as abortion. I actually this word for abortion is nipat yatam, used in this verse, nipat yatam. And I just looked to see whether this word, nipat yatam, features anywhere else in the entire 18,000 verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And there was no instance. Actually, in any of the Vedic scriptures, it's difficult to find such a word. because in Vedic culture, it was unheard of. It was not even something a mother would consider. It was just, I mean, there are examples in various stories of mothers giving birth and putting the child away, like how we even see in the example of Queen Kunti. But the idea was there that they must give birth, and they knew in Vedic times that if any other person encountered this child, they would give the child full protection. So here we see Uttara. She's not really worried about herself. And she says here, my Lord, let it burn me personally, if you so desire. Now, this terminology, if you so desire, is something that devotees always use in their prayers. You know, sometimes a devotee may have a certain conception of what is good for them. They may have some certain idea. So sometimes the devotee may approach Krishna for something, but the devotee always puts this statement first. O Krishna, if you so desire. Meaning, as Prabhupada said, I have my desire, you have your desire, and Krishna has his desire, because Krishna is also a person. But always Krishna's desire is paramount. In the early days of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, the temple was attacked, quite severely. And Srila Prabhupada taught the devotees the Nishingadev prayers. And in that instance, Srila Prabhupada gave a very similar example. And also when Srila Prabhupada felt very, very sick in New York, he told the devotees, you can pray. But the devotees were so unsure even how to pray. And then Srila Prabhupada taught them, you can pray to Lord Krishna. Dear Lord Krishna, if you so desire, please help our spiritual master to recover. That's how Srila Prabhupada taught the devotees from the outset. It's always, if we have some prayers, we want to, we want to take up some service. Krishna, I want to take up some deity service. That's my desire. So we may want to go to the Lord and pray to the Lord, please give me deity service. But the devotee won't take. He will first say, or she will first say, dear Lord Krishna, this is my desire. But if you so desire, you can make it happen that I can get deity service. Oh, dear Lord Krishna, I desire to take initiation immediately. But if you so desire, you can help me. But if you so don't desire, you got some other plan, that's fine. So this is something very important we see being expressed by Uttaraya. If you so desire, Krishna. Yes, if you so desire. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about, gives us a little insight into Uttara. We do not see Uttara mentioned very much in the Bhagavatam. But Prabhupada writes, Uttara was the daughter of a great king. So Uttara was the daughter of Queen Sudeshena and the daughter of the king Virata. Sudeshna. Sudeshna was the queen and Virata was the king. And he was the king of a kingdom called Matsya. So when the Pandavas were exiled, they took shelter of the Matsya kingdom. And it was there that King Virata gave protection to the Pandavas. He gave protection, and he was able to give protection because he was a great king. Then it is said she was the wife of a great hero. And we all know who that is referring to. That refers to Abhimanyu. Then it is said she was the student of a great devotee. Now, who knows what that means? Of which great devotee was she a student?
Arjuna?
Arjuna, yes. Can you explain how she was a student of Arjuna?
When Arjuna went to Indraloka,
teaching her music.
Sorry,
Hare Krishna.
yes.
When Arjuna went to Indraloka to learn the art of how to use the weapons from Indra, because Indra is his father actually, and so he was cursed by an apsara, so he became like a woman,
Eunuch, yeah.
a eunuch, and then when he was in the incognito during the time in the forest, he went to King Virata, where he had to teach Uttara the dancing, because he learned it in Indraslok.
Yeah, he had actually thought he was the teacher of Uttara. He taught her dancing because, as you explained, he had learned dancing from the heavenly residents, from the Apsaras. So he became the teacher of Uttara. Actually, at one stage, Uttara was thinking, or I think King Virata wanted Uttara to marry Arjuna. And Arjuna said, no, this is not appropriate. I am a teacher. A teacher should not marry the student, because the teacher is almost like a parent to the students. So Arjuna said, no, I can't marry you. I can't marry Uttara, but Abhimanyu can. So Uttara was the daughter of a great king, the wife of a great hero, Abhimanyu, and the student of a great devotee, Arjuna. And later on, she was the mother of a good king, meaning Maharaj Parikshit. So Prabhupada writes here, she was fortunate in every respect. In every respect, Uttara was very fortunate. Actually, there is one book written by Sanatan Goswami. It's called Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And this is, so after Maharaj Parikshit had heard the Bhagavatam from Shukdev Goswami, and before he was killed by the snake bird, his mother was very eager to understand, his mother Uttara was very eager to understand what Parikshit Maharaj had heard from Shukadev Goswami. So Parikshit Maharaj spoke something very condensed to his mother Uttara, and this is what is known as Brihad Bhagavatamrita. That is a beautiful book that's been compiled by Srila Sanatan Goswami. It's available. It's been translated by Gopi Paradhana Prabhu, who is late now, but it's a beautiful book called Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And that Parikshit Maharaj spoke to his mother, Uttara. So the lesson we learn, again from Uttara, not so concerned about her own body, but Lord Krishna, if you so desire, you can protect it. But please, I ask you for a favor to protect the unborn child in my womb. So we learn from this in Vedic culture the absolute importance of the mother giving protection. We also learn that we should not be so concerned about our own bodies. Although Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that when a devotee asks Krishna for protection, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that's not against the principles of pure devotional service. Because of the 6 angas of Sharanagati, surrender, the third one is to see Krishna as my only maintainer, and the 4th one is Krishna is my only protector. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says it's not against the principles of devotional service when a devotee seeks protection from Krishna. But even when the devotee does that, Krishna's desire is always paramount. So maybe I'll stop here. Any questions, comments, reflections that anyone may have? No? Okay, that's not.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Salush Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Salish Prabhu, Dandavat Prabhupada.
A quick question. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshastamam teaches as one of the prayers that, Lord, you may embrace me, you may neglect me, you may do as you wish, and teaches us the true heart of a devotee in terms of prayer to the Lord, that we surrender. You just mentioned Bhaktivinoda Thakur says it is not against devotional practice to seek protection, and we do kavacham, and within the kavacham there are of course some pretty vibrant descriptions of how Nrsimhadev will protect by tearing asunder. So it's a little counterintuitive if we're aiming at Uttam mood, where it feels like it is more for sadhakas, the kavach, rather than for Uttam Adhikaris, because an Uttam Adhikari is not going to ask of the Lord for such things, particularly tearing asunder. Haridas Thakur was aghast with his asilas, a position where they were going to be killed, and he said, no, you kill me instead. It was quite, the mood is very different in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela compared to how we pray through the kavacham. So how do we reconcile these differences?
I once read something which I probably am thinking about now to answer your question. He said generally, I was reading that we should not go to Radha and Krishna for our problems or asking them for protection. We should go to Lord Nrsimhadev. And actually Lord Nrsimhadev, he loves it. He takes great pleasure when the devotees approach him and he has some opportunity to protect them. That is a manifestation for the Lord. One of Krishna's qualities is Bhakta Vatsala. So when we approach the Lord or Lord Nrsimhadev, in one sense, we're actually giving Lord Nrsimhadev pleasure, because that's what he likes to do. He likes, just like sometimes the Lord likes to fight, and Jai and Vijay come into play there to assist the Lord in his pastimes. So the Lord also has these pastimes. He likes to be giving protection to his devotees. And he takes pleasure when the devotees approach him for protection. So anything that gives the Lord pleasure is Uttama Bhakti, isn't it? So I see it like that sometimes, Prabhu.
That's nice, Prabhu. Thank you. Because of course Prahlad Maharaj was a great devotee, but he never asked for protection. It becomes like you're almost doing a barter or a trade with the Lord if you ask for anything, even if it's Nrsimhadev. So presumably the highest form of bhakti if we're aiming at that, we should seek in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood that I will chant your name without any expectation. You will be my overguiding protector. You do as you feel. You do as you whatever is best for me, you do.
Yeah.
You don't ask for anything one way or the other. Wouldn't that be the right mood and sentiment that we should try and aim to develop?
Yes, in Krishna consciousness, we have perfect, more perfect, and most perfect. So seeking protection from the Lord is perfect because we are seeking, and probably most perfect is, yes, you do as you want. You do as you want. I'm just thinking of the gopis of Vrindavan, or the residents of Vrindavan. There's no there's no any desire, selfish desire. But when Indra, threw the Samvartaka clouds at them, they went to Krishna and sought protection. So there are even instances among the greatest devotees of the Lord. They're seeking protection. I don't know if the gopis, was there any incidents of the gopis seeking protection from Krishna? I can't remember. Anyway, you are right in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in what he taught, but still, a devotee, Krishna is the only shelter, and there is some rasa there too. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sorry for entertaining my rather weird questions.
No. It was interesting, your question and the points you raised. Hare Krishna. Anyone else got any questions, realizations, or reflections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, so beautifully answered that question that Prabhuji asked. So much depth there, a lot of food for thought. But my sort of thinking was that when a devotee doesn't desire anything and is just purely in devotional service, there were two pastimes from Chaitanya Charitamrita that come to mind where Raghunath Das Goswami was chanting away and Radharani came and gave him the shelter. And he was still chastised. He was not asking for Radharani's shelter, in terms of protecting him from the sun. But Radharani opted to do that for him, and yet he was chastised. And the same with the kheer making and Rupa Goswami. So if they hadn't desired it, but the Lord volunteered to give them protection or whatever they were deeply desiring, then why would they chastised for that?
Oh, I don't know. It's because somehow or the other, there was something. I don't like that example with Raghunath Das Goswami where Radharani came. Was it also Rupa Goswami was definitely with the sweet rice, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I think the whole thing is just to give instruction, for us never to act in any way that may cause Lord Krishna or Radharani to want to serve us.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is. I think it's for more. It's just instruction, and that chastisement is
of course
not to be taken too seriously, and not for us to think any less of the devotees who got the service.
Of course, yes. So basically, it's okay to desire, but not, as you said, to add if you so desire.
Yeah. It is always Krishna's desire is paramount.
Yes.
And sometimes that desire is to serve, like I gave the example, the devotee wants to serve the deity. That original desire was not selfish, it was to serve Krishna. But the if you so desire is there to, if Krishna doesn't want us to serve him as the deity, he wants us to go serve him distributing books that can also be there. So it's individual, isn't it? Every soul has desires, and we never negate that we are individuals and we have desires also.
Wonderful. Thank you, Prabhuji. Really nice. Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept
Hare
my
Krishna.
Ramadan pranams, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in that first verse, when Uttara runs towards Krishna, it says something about duality. Is it okay if you can bring up that verse, Prabhuji?
Yes. Let's just see. Yeah, in this world of duality.
Okay, you're just saying in the world of duality.
Yeah, this world is full of duality.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
there's heat, there's cold, there's happiness, there's distress. Everything is relative. So she's saying, you can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality. So this world, material world is a world of duality. Everything's relative. Yeah. Make sense, Mataji?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
And I also wanted to just add a comment on that about chastising the Goswamis when Radharani came or Krishna comes in. I think maybe they feel like sometimes you are so much into the service, you don't want to you don't want to give any pain or anything to the guest, So like when a guest comes to us, to a house, we don't want to give them any service. We want to do everything for them. And suppose the guest says, no, I would like to do it. They will say, no, they don't want. And if somebody lets them do it, then they will get a real chastisement because why did you let them do that? Because they want to give everything to the Lord. So that's what I feel the human nature is such, maybe. That's where Sanatana Goswami was chastised and Rupa Goswami, who Radharani came and tried to, is this Sanatana Goswami? I do not know, Prabhuji, so please forget my ignorance. Radharani comes and puts the pallu to protect him from the sun when he was doing the japa that time. So I feel
Raghunath Das Goswami, I think.
Raghunath Das Goswami. Sorry, Prabhuji. I have to read Vashada Goswami's histories, to know. But I'm just taking the essence. I'm just perceiving and taking all the essence and interpreting all the things. So Anumana. So what I'm trying to do, think of here is I'm just putting an example, like if a guest comes to a house, we don't want them to do anything. We want to do everything for them. And if suppose somebody gets it done, then we don't like it. So that I'm thinking on that relation. I do not know. Just simple thinking from me.
Yeah. I think there's some merit in what you're saying, Mataji. There's this transcendental competition that takes place in the spiritual world. Krishna is looking for any opportunity to serve his devotee, and the devotee who doesn't want to take service from Krishna. And the devotee wants to just serve Krishna. So this is transcendental competition, and sometimes Krishna wants to get the upper hand. The devotee doesn't want to take service. He doesn't, but Krishna's thinking, when I'm going to get the opportunity to serve my devotee. So when he does get the opportunity, he's very happy. But the other devotees are not so happy, but thinking, you took service from Krishna. Hard to understand, but it's so transcendental.
I know. We can't compete with Krishna, of course. When Krishna wants, he can do anything. Yeah. And Krishna gives us what we need than what we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right. Thank you very much for your association and your participation. We'll stop here. All glories to your service. Panchakalpatarubhyascha. Kripasindhuvescha patitanam Anantaguri Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice class.
for nice
Very wonderful class.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.